Hey, how's it going? I have an idea, and it will be number 34 for DWPB's 100 Things Challenge thing, I guess. Anyway, this little piece of paper, I did watercolor pencil test, Hero versus Arteza, and I was painting them in. I was using a water brush pen. I was using one of these, and then I was using what I call a flathead, a flat brush that was a little bit wider than this. And I did make a comment about it's really bad to do watercolors in here because I'm trying to stay within the lines for this particular project, and I was having difficulty. Watercolor, once they're wet, they tend not to stay where you want them to stay. You know, well, with a lot of practice they do, but I was trying unsuccessfully to stay in the lines, and there were, well, some of these spots are good. Uh-oh. I got it wet. Anyway, so I was thinking when I was doing the video, I mean, I just put up the video a couple of days ago, and that was thing number 3, doodling with watercolor pencils. And at the time, I was thinking, what can I use to fill in the colors and not go over the lines? You know, I was like, this was working kind of okay because it's a finer point, you know. So that was working kind of okay. And the flathead was definitely out, you know, that was out of the picture, out of the running. So I was thinking, I wonder if, where is it? You know, I got these in March. I got this pack, Molotov refill extension pens. It contains 2 paint markers, two empty paint markers, and then these little attachments or whatever. And I got a bunch of nibs to go with it. What I discovered was it came with 5 nibs, 5 little white nibs of different sizes. This one comes right into it's contained in one of these, you know, and I've already set it up. I've already put this on it, and I put the tip of my choice. This one is ultra fine point, and then this one is I can show you. It's the bullet tip. So that's what came with this pen. So I'm gonna put these over here. And I also had bought, at that time in March, I bought these, which are tester nibs for paint markers. And they do not fit in there unless I trim them down. I don't think I'm going to trim them down. So, in my crafting list in Amazon, just the list, it's not the shopping cart. I'm not breaking the rules. I put Montana nibs and paint markers, empty paint markers, or barrels, I guess they are. And I'll put it this way. So I thought, hey, I wonder if I can use the nibs. And at the time, like last night, I was thinking about this. I wonder if I can use those nibs. And I was thinking, oh, I don't think I have nibs. I forgot that I had bought them. I went actually into my crafting list, and I was just kind of looking through, like, did I already buy these or something? So I went in, I looked, and it says, you purchased these in March. I'm like, yes, I can use them for the 100 Things Challenge. I don't have to, like, wait until I'm done with the 100 things, you know. So it's a slow and steady process. Oh, I need, that's what I need. I need a couple of baby wipes. So I'm going to use this, the remainder of this paper, to try this idea out. And I'm going to use the Staedtler, is it? I can't pronounce it. I should be able to pronounce it. Isn't that German? It's German. Maybe it's not German. In that case, great, I don't have to know how to pronounce it. I think it's German. It doesn't even say. It doesn't say where it's from. Wait a minute. Made in Korea. Okay. So to do this, and let's see what kind of colors to go with. What I've discovered about green is that it doesn't seem to, it doesn't want to wipe off of my brushes. That's kind of strange. Maybe blue. Maybe definitely purple. I have about 3 different purples here. Dark mauve. Violet. Maybe. Some red. Just all the colors of the rainbow. What the heck? Green. It looks very dark. And yellow. Just plain yellow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Yay! I like rainbows. Okay. So I am going to zoom in a little as well, and I'm going to put the box, the paint box down, the crayon box on top to kind of keep it in place. I'm going to zoom in a little. And I should probably, on purpose, go after some of the smaller colors. Now, I'm just using these colors. I'm probably not going to stay, like, go across or anything like that with the colors. Okay. Watch me color. Is this red? This doesn't look red. And like the last time, I'm not going to go to the edge with the crayon at the moment. Uh-oh, these are not in order in the box. Or maybe I will go. And some yellow. That's gonna be hard. I think I already went out over the line. Yeah. And some green. And some blue. What is those? Baby blue, I guess, or sky blue? What color is this blue? Cyan. And last but not least, some purple. Okay. I have that there. Alright. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, and that is yellow. And I'm just going to dip the ultra fine. Oh, I don't know if I showed you that. Did I show you that? Look how tiny that tip is. That's cool. Okay. What I should do. Another thing that I need to make sure about doing is that you can see that was one thing that I noticed with, I'm going to zoom in a little more, with the third, there we go. I can't promise you because when I get my finger in there, it tends to focus on the finger. So what is that? You can see that. I see it. I see a little bubble there. Or is that? Oh no, that's water. Oh, look at that. It's going over. Okay, that looks ginormous in zoomed in. It looks terrible, but just looking at it and not looking at the screen panel, it actually doesn't look that bad. It's yellow, so it's not that big a deal. It'll just maybe lighten the orange a little bit. Okay, going to... So, well, I went over a little bit. Did I accomplish mine? Maybe it was too wet. Maybe I don't need the water pens after all. Look at that. There's a smidge of green. Stuck on this nib. It is on there. And that was with, I think the Arteza one, I think I missed a color. Who knew? I'm going to now do, you know what I'm going to do? With the bullet tip. So what I'm seeing with the nibs and the baby wipe, you're not seeing that, but what I'm seeing is it's sticking to the baby wipe like a Velcro type of deal. And so I'm gonna try, I don't know if this is gonna work or not, but I'm gonna try this baby wipe, very much zoomed out. Zoom out. Okay, this baby wipe is a Whisker City kitty wipe that I'm just going to keep saying it over and over every time I use it. I can't use it on the cats because it contains 2 ingredients that cats should not come near. Tea tree is one of them and eucalyptus is another. So when I saw that, I'm like, oh, what is that? Even if it's diluted, some people say if it's super diluted, you can still use it on your cats, but I'm not taking any chances, you know. No. I don't know what that is. Okay. So this is from here. It is sticking a little bit, like picking it up, and I think it's the texture, the material of the nibs. I'm just gonna do that a little bit, and oh, and zoom in because you can't see any. See, that yellow looks perfect. Zoomed out, that yellow looks perfect. Okay, gonna bring it down a little bit. And I will add, did that leak over? That's wrong. Now I gotta work again on my, do a little bit of patchwork on my starfish water cup. Another thing to note is that the nib is very hard. So I'm feeling that here on the paper, and now I'm thinking brush more lightly. And that's just because of this. Ooh. Sorry about that. See that? I think that's the paper. Is that the paper or the nib that I'm bringing up? Well, that's bad, because if I was using this, I think that's part of the nib. But if I was using this as part of a paint pen, I certainly wouldn't want the nib to come apart. That would be terrible. Almost looks like it's erasing it. This is not a colorless blender. Okay. But that definitely did a better job. Alright, I missed a spot. I'm gonna look in the screen panel to cover that in. This is Arteza watercolor paper. And I want to try and fill in all those little gaps there a little bit. And now... not a bad deal. Wiping off the nib with the baby wipe. Pulling the nib out of its little... Well, that's interesting. Okay, I think what needs to happen is that this nib is actually not going in. See, this comes right out of the nib. The nib comes right out of here, and it's not supposed to come out so readily, I don't think. I'm going to use that nib. No, you can't. This nib right here. That's very difficult to see. It looks, wow, that looks cool. I don't know, can you see that? that looks so cool. It looked like it was like 3D. Like it had dimension. The paper had dimension, or the green color looked like it had like a wave to it. It could be just me in the screen panel. Okay, so this one, that's what it looks like. And it's plastic, or it feels plastic. So we have, it looks a little bit pointier than the other one. Yes, it is. Okay. So then this one, I'm going to go after the blue. And that's bringing it out. So this might have a definitely a different type of lineage to it, the line creation. Maybe not as feathery as like a brush. More detail, a more detailed line. So one of the things I do have to be careful with on this Arteza watercolor paper, is that too much water will cause it to pill. And that, I guess that's true for most watercolor papers. Too much water is going to make a piece of paper, watercolor paper, mixed media paper, which are much thinner, by the way, but even 140-pound mixed media paper is going to pill a little bit. This might have a really cool effect to it if I bring it out like that from the middle. Will this be good enough to fill in the holes in the spaces? I went over the line. Yikes. I think there is like that nib material within that tip, because there's a little bit of blue. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? There's a little bit of blue in there. Even I can't see it. Wait, I see it. I kind of see it. I see my freckles too. Okay. I wanted to use the nib, the ultra point or ultra fine point here for this right here for the orange. Am I getting it? No. Well, it kind of works. I think I'm gonna take this away. It looks like the black is the black pen that I use, the Sharpie water-based marker. It looks like the water is affecting that black. Whereas before, when I was using the watercolor pencils, it didn't really, I thought it was blurring that black, but it wasn't. But this one it is, so that's weird. Okay. Oh, going up, there we go. Okay. Now what I want to try is, I've tried these, so I'm going to try the water brush pen, the finer point bristled brush, and see if that works. See how well that works, or if that works any better. Kind of wet it a little bit there in the spot in the middle, and then kind of bring it out. I think I'm gonna have to take a tissue to this because I am not squeezing this water brush pen, and it definitely has a lot of water on it. So bring some of that color out. Oh yeah, got it in my blue. Another thing I have to be careful about is not just the water type of thing, but you see this part right here? I know you see it. It's very visible. Ooh. That's another problem I'm discovering with watercolor crayons and watercolors. Sometimes watercolor pencils, but mostly watercolor crayons. Where you... I'm going to bring this out a little. So this one, clearly, you know, I'm not imagining things. This finer tipped brush is actually going over the lines, and if I try just a dry brush, or not a dry brush, but just a minute. Oh yeah. Got the domino effect down here on the floor. Pull one thing off and a couple of things come tumbling with it. I'm gonna try these. These are detail brushes that I bought a while back, and they are, I don't know who they're by. They're, it doesn't say. By Dynamic Distraction. Cool, cool logo. And this is what they look like. They're still wrapped up. I haven't used them. What's wrong with me? So I am going to use, these aren't as detailed as the other set I have. So they come in a really nice little case. Brand new, never been unwrapped. Where's the little, where's the jobby? There's no jobby. And you're thinking, what's a jobby? Oh wait, nope. Oh. I had a note to self yesterday. Note to self, Tammy. I had to reposition my small scissors box, the detail scissors box. And I was telling myself, don't forget where you put them, because that's what I tend to do. Right? You know, it's like cleaning. When you clean, okay. When you clean, try not to clean too much, because you'll forget where you put things. So, this is dry it off a little, don't make it too wet. How am I going with this? This one? Well, maybe a little more water. A little bit more water. Is that in the picture? Okay. It looks blue in the screen panel. It is purple. I just want to get it wet first, you know. This is barely wet. Have to be very careful by that yellow. Well, maybe it's not. Maybe I haven't removed the wax off of it yet or something, the preserver. So I'm gonna give it a little bit. Yep, it's off. That is definitely, from what I can see now, when I look in the screen panel, I'm probably totally off or something, but from just me looking at it right now, not in the screen panel, not so up close and personal. I believe I went over the line over there, but that would be my fault. So what would be better? Like, well, the detail brush obviously would be better. Right? And maybe not put so much of the crayon right there in the middle, because that is like this. That really bothers me. It shouldn't be like that. Okay. Brush it along the baby wipe. I know you can't see that. And the last one is red. So let me try this one again. And it's not taking it at all. Oh, there we go. What am I gonna do for these quiet moments? Should I fast forward through this? Or keep it in real time? Okay, that didn't do too bad of a job. There's a little bit of pale red there. I see like dots and stuff. I'm sure you see that too. I want to add a little bit more. I might have to try and I'm gonna see if I can pull any of that dark green off of there. But what I might have to do, is this the one I used? This is light green. Now what, I had green, I swear it was green. Is it this? Green. So what I'm gonna do here is, I'm gonna brush this. Kind of green up the brush. I don't know. There we go. Uh-oh. Kitty coming. Coconutty buddy. I know I'm going into the blue. Am I accomplishing it? Am I making it darker on the outside parts? I can still see that part right there, but it's less so, which means adding a little bit more color from the crayon to the brush to the paper does kind of help, well, not entirely, but a little bit eliminate that. Okay, I'm gonna do it on this one right here. Computer's revving, it must be Saturday night. Another thing I have to think about is I have like an hour of recording time left on the camera. I reset it for, it was on long play, and I reset it for 17 megabits a second, and that uses up the memory faster. On 4 megabits a second, that's long play. Look at that. Ooh, what can I do with it? Definitely not for coloring in the big ones. So I'll color it in on the side here. I think that works really well. Before it didn't seem like it was very successful. But now I actually like it. I like this plastic nib. So I'm gonna do, I can feel it kind of pilling a little bit. I'm thinking, uh-oh, that's not good. Might be a little difficult to get the blue or sea green color out of the nib there. I could soak it, since it's a plastic nib, I could soak it this way, upside down. I can even take it out. And that could get rid of it. Okay, here's another idea that's floating around in my head, and I might as well just put it to good use right now. So what that we're over an hour away, an hour out. I am going to use those. You can't see them. I'm going to use these two, even though they're not in marker pens. I don't have an empty marker pen to fit them. Wouldn't that be nice if one of these extensions would hold it? Hey, why is there a hole in that? There should be a hole in that. There's a hole in my starfish legs. What is that? Am I taking off? No, I think it's the paper. See how I answered my own question? Because it needs to be a little wetter. Which is bad for the paper. But it is marking, it is coloring it, so... I think because it was already wet, this part's already wet here, so naturally, I'm just making it worse. Make it worse, why don't you? What is this type of nib is this? Is it felt? These nibs? Paint marker pens? Very stiff felt? Furry felt. Okay, can I fix it with this? No. Nope, it's too wet to fix it. Well, I'm sure I can fix it. I'm sure I can add more, what is this color? Sea green. So I could do, what if I could do this? I definitely like this little brush sleeve that I put it on. Hacks within hacks. I'm all for it. It's a balloon, in case you haven't noticed. A spotted balloon. Of course it is. Can I get the... Oh no, I can't get the green off of this. Good thing I have more. I can get it off of my finger. I'll have to give it a good soaking. Okay. That works, sorta, but not really, but no. Well, I think it would have worked if the paper, this area right here wasn't already saturated with water and paint. So, I didn't even get to try this one. I tried this one. What do I want? I don't know. Magenta. Okay, now magenta. The paper is coming off of the crayon. Okay. I just want to make sure I'm in the camera angle there. Yay! That's actually a pretty good job with this, which is a nib for paint markers, and it's by Testors. You know, they usually do model paints, if I'm not mistaken. Chisel tip nib. Oh, that's not the chisel tip, but also bullet point. Honest. Bullet tip nibs and chisel point nibs. So, let me get my phone so we can sign out. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. It's opposite day. Okay, so I did... What I want to do is see if I can test it out the nibs with the markers. So, I have to take a screenshot and I need to zoom in. Uh-oh, repositioning. We repositioned the paper, not the camera. I have to come out a little. Okay. With that, I can probably make take one picture and make 3 different pictures out of it. Okay. Possibly 4. Smile. It doesn't want to cooperate. And this one. Right? Alright. Smile. And excuse the shaking, say cheese. Have a wonderful day.